Cover-up in Oklahoma may be copied if copied in its entirety and without modification.
I think he said another bomb.
Another bomb, move back.
Oh my God, another bomb.
Citizen Information Network has prepared this video in response to the growing awareness that the federal government and our established media have collaborated to deceive us about critical aspects of the Murrah building bombing. This low-budget, voluntary effort contains several segments with some overlap and some blurred video footage. Nevertheless, the presentation will help viewers decide what really occurred at the Murrah building, what was the broader meaning of that event and its aftermath, and what level of confidence we the people should have toward our public servants and our dominant news media. The first segment of this tape presents several clips of television news coverage that was broadcast immediately following the bombing. Most Americans are still unaware of the facts revealed by these early reports.
We just saw, if you were watching there was a white pickup truck backing a trailer into the scene here. They're trying to move people out of the way so they can get it in. Appears to be the Oklahoma County Bomb Squad. It's their bomb disposal unit, essentially, is what it is, and it is what they would use to, if the report that we gave you just a few moments ago turns out to be correct, that they have found a second explosive device of some kind inside this building, they'll back that trailer down there, and the bomb squad folks will go in, and they will use that trailer. You see the bucket on the back there, sort of, this is how they would transport the explosive device away from this populated area to try to do something with it.
If you are outside the metro area, you'd have to be well outside the metro area if you did not feel the blast that occurred.
This is just a few moments ago.
People running north away from the federal building, you see them.
Now confirmed through federal authorities that a second bomb has been found inside that federal building in Oklahoma City. It was an explosion at 9 o'clock this morning that did that damage you're looking at right there, blowing off the entire north face of that building. Again, you're looking at the north face there. A second bomb was found on the east side of that building. A bomb squad is on the scene. That second bomb has not exploded. We don't know quite the status yet, if they've managed to defuse it, but it has been confirmed that a second bomb was found on the east side of that building. And
Dave Balut here joining me. Dave, what do you have to add?
Well, I just took a look down the street at the Murrah building again. I see another bomb truck going, so apparently they're going to try to get out that third bomb that's been talked about. Still a lot of activity around the Murrah building. Security concerns that another one still might go off. That's what everybody's worried about.
That's the reason they have moved the media, everyone back.
Let's take a look now, if we could. I understand we've just received videotape in a news conference held just a few moments ago at St. Anthony's Hospital.
Okay.
This is Tom Caniglione. He's medical director of St. Anthony Hospital. This is Jim Maravich. He is Chief Operating Officer and Executive Vice President of the hospital. I'll give you their cards after the conference is over so you'll know the spelling.
Doctor, can you tell us the situation?
The situation at the present time is that we have treated more than 56 injuries. There have been several more since last count. At the present time, the medical teams downtown are unable to get into the wreckage to retrieve more of the injured because of the presence of other bombs in the area. I've been told by the police department that just as soon as those bombs are defused, they will permit the medical teams to enter. Then once the medical teams enter, we expect quite a large number of rather badly injured individuals being brought here.
Tell us exactly where you were when the explosion hit.
I was in the City Courts building, which is just about 2 blocks south and 1 block west of the federal building. And it was amazing that people walked down in the street and we looked in that direction, and several people said, well, it looks like that's the federal building. Somebody's bombed the federal building. Somebody's bombed the federal courthouse, which was right across the street. because really there was nothing else that would explain this kind of force. That's what came to everyone's mind, was that it must be some type of explosive.
Yeah, Mike, hang with us just for a second. We want to update our audience that the Justice Department is reporting that a second explosive device has been found in the A.P. Murrah building in downtown Oklahoma City. Mike, you're still with us, aren't you?
Yes, I am, and I might tell you in addition to that, that in fact what we were told at the scene a few minutes ago was that in fact 2 different explosive devices were found in addition to the one that went off.
So a total of 3,
A total of 3, and of course then there was mass confusion whenever there were hundreds of spectators in the area, and when they heard that there were other bombs in the building, people were running from the area in the opposite direction as fast as they could, trying to evacuate again.
And you see the utter devastation that one explosion caused, because here's now what we are starting to learn about the succession, or what someone obviously hoped would be a succession of explosions. The first bomb that was in the federal building did go off. It did the damage that you see right there. The second explosive was found and diffused. The third explosive that was found, and they are working on right now as we speak, I understand, both the second and third explosives, if you can imagine this, were larger than the first. So try to imagine 2- or 3-fold happening what we've already seen there. It is just incredible to think that there was that much heavy artillery that was somehow moved into the downtown Oklahoma City Federal Building.
This report of a second and third explosive device having been brought into the Murrah building was broadcast before federal government officials and a compliant national media at the network level had the opportunity to massage the data, reducing the number of explosives and explosions to 1 and positioning that bomb out in the street, not in the building. Moreover, these anchors reported that it was the first explosive device inside the building that caused the devastation. The second and third bombs were undetonated. Those bombs, in the possession of the authorities, would provide information about the perpetrators of this monstrous crime.
Again, you're looking at, obviously, aerial pictures from Chopper 4. They kept us out for a while because of obvious reasons, and we respect their demands on that.
The reasons may have been obvious to these reporters, but they're not obvious to the rest of us. In the light of later reports of Oklahoma City police bomb squads who brought in a military EOD special bomb squad because an undetonated military bomb was found in the building, we would like to know why this information has been suppressed. Were the media people who claim to be the eyes and ears of the people shut out while federal agents removed security cameras which had recorded all activity in front of the federal building? If we are to trust our government, if we are to trust our media that claims to be independent, we need journalists who are not so deferential to the demands of our public servants.
On that, we are now there with our camera and our chopper, and it gives you a bird's eye view of the devastation. Again, one more time on this, because we've been hoping this wouldn't be the case, but it is the case. 6 of the dead are children, 2 are adults from this explosion today. There was a daycare inside the building, and imagine the callousness of setting off a bomb where children are inside. It's mind-boggling.
The daycare was on the 2nd floor, so we would assume that as they were starting to get through their early evacuation and rescue efforts before being called back because of the concern over the other explosive devices, that perhaps the daycare area was one that they were able to get to first.
Light was on in the stairwell.
Do you know if there are other survivors? Did you see any casualties? Did you see people that had died?
I don't know. I know that some people were still in the building. They haven't gotten to yet. I saw a lot of people very badly hurt.
Anybody else getting out?
Yeah, there were people were just getting out covered with blood and just stunned. I mean, it was just shock.
Get out! Get them ready.
People get back to the and this is the point now where the evacuations began again, and you can see everybody starting to leave downtown for fear that the exact same thing was about to happen again. Fortunately, it didn't, because the second device that they found, we understand, was even more powerful than the first. They then found a third device, and you can see the look on this woman's face at the fear that she might have to go through the same thing again. They then found a third device, which was also larger than the first. Hard to feel lucky at this point, but certainly through some good work by some munitions experts and the explosive sniffing dogs, further tragedy has almost certainly been averted here today.
The reports I have is that one device was deactivated. Apparently there's another device, and obviously whatever did the damage to the Murrah building was a tremendous, very sophisticated explosive device.
So President Clinton just called Governor Frank Keating, and he says that 3 FBI anti-terrorist teams are en route to Oklahoma City. Right now, they are saying that this is the work of a sophisticated group. This is a very sophisticated device, and it has to have been done by an explosives expert, obviously with this type of explosion.
The reporter said government officials stated the bombing was the work of a sophisticated group. The explosive that went off in the building was a very sophisticated device. It would take an explosive expert to have done that amount of damage. Now, these news reports were all made during the first few hours since the tragedy struck. Given a little time, government spokespeople changed all this. It wasn't a sophisticated group, but rather 2 or 3 men of nondescript skills. Nor was it a very sophisticated device. Why, it was just a mix of fertilizer and ammonia that any old farm boy could put together. And the damage, massive as it was in complete concert with the explosives in a car, later a truck, parked out in the street. Say, isn't it funny how a little time changes things?
Also, we're getting word now that President Clinton is sending anti-terrorism units down here to look over the situation and find out exactly what went on and what other danger may be out there in Oklahoma City. That's something we need to think about, unfortunately, this time, because, as we've told you, 2 other explosive devices were found that were not detonated, and they were larger than the first.
This weather is going to make things far more difficult, unfortunately, on the firefighters down there, because as we've told you on a couple of occasions now, they are really only just now beginning, thanks to the big, I guess it was about an hour-and-a-half delay or so, while they were worried about the second and third devices that they had found. They are really only now starting to really get full force into the rescue and search operation, going all through all 9 floors of the building that are above ground, 4 floors of parking garages that are below.
You talk about the second bomb that was found. Devin told us earlier, we got information that the second and third bomb were bigger than the one that was detonated. 1,200 pounds of explosives in that first one that went off. The second and third devices that were found were actually larger than that, so you can imagine what that would have been like.
Imagine anybody not knowing exactly what's going on at this point, but if for some reason you were just now getting caught up to speed, at about 9 o'clock this morning, an explosion rocked a good part of central Oklahoma and most of downtown Oklahoma City at the Alfred Murrah Federal Building. About 9 a.m. this morning. That was the first explosive device. There were a total of 3, we understand, found. Only 1 detonated, and fortunately it was the smallest of the 3. But it was enough to tear away just a huge chunk, the entire front of the federal building. As they started the rescue efforts, they were about 30 minutes into the rescue efforts, 30 to 45 minutes in. That was when they were alerted to the presence of the other 2 devices, and that put the brakes on the rescue and
now,
evacuation
we're getting word of another bomb threat now, Devin, to talk about the 2 after the initial blast. Our crews are being moved back in downtown Oklahoma City because of another bomb threat down there. Are evacuating. John, can you tell me? They have found...
Bomb squad there. It's supposed to be the west corner of the building.
Bomb squad is there, west corner of the Murrah building. Is that correct? Another bomb inside the Murrah building.
Supposedly there may be another device there.
Maybe another device there, and they are evacuating the area.
And we'll reiterate again what these later devices are doing to the rescue effort. Time is so valuable right now as they try to get to these people who perhaps somehow are still hanging on to life inside that building. And each delay, every time the firefighters and the rescuers are called back and brought back down off of their ladders and scaffoldings, just could be exacting a terrible, terrible toll on the people who are already inside.
Yes, it is. And we talked earlier about the 2 undetonated bombs ever found that were bigger than the device